NBA Straya. How are you going? Hey, going, are you right? I hope so. I hope you're doing better than me. That's right, it is Thursday, March 27. I'm your host, James Clements, old Limpy Jim, they call him. Here in Larry Armour Studios, you can watch me on the old YouTube. You can hear us on all your podcast apps. And your mate Jim's in a spot of bother with his foot. We'll talk about that in a second. Speaking of which, quick show today. We're just going to smash through kind of what's happened the last 2 days and then get out of your hair. Do some power rankings in there as well, just so I can talk about all 30 teams. Dame's out with some blood clots. We got a LeBron game winner. We're going to fly through the game wraps. We've got a couple of awards to give out. We've got some very brief ENRs. We'll do the power rankings, then we'll pick and preview the games tomorrow. Very fun one, very quick one, but you get that on the big job. So let's get into it. Episode 1233. That's right, 1,233 of NBA Straya. Oh, let's go.
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gay.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek. This is Nick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
You better. Oh, here we go. Watch out for the attack of Jim's foot. Yeah, we'll start there very quickly. No show yesterday, which is a bit weird. I don't know, it just felt strange not doing a show, I'll tell you. Why is that, Jim? I can't hear you ask. Well, it's because my foot just decided to go completely sideways, and I've not been able to walk for 2 days. So that's been a bit not great. And when I say sideways, I mean my Achilles / heel. Something has gone completely awry in there. I haven't torn my Achilles, it seems like, but something's gone wrong, and the doctor was somewhat confused by it all. Yeah, seems like a bit of a whack, a bit of trauma, and some sort of strain. Maybe from pub cricket on the weekend, you know. Remember when I drank 1,000,000 beers? And like, it was just sort of like a bit achy. And now it's sort of, and then like what, Tuesday morning it just blew up. Managed to get through that day, but then yeah, nah. That was all she wrote after that. So I'm on some pretty hardcore anti-inflammatories and some painkillers, so yesterday I literally just couldn't do anything. I'm just like propped up on the couch, watched the basketball, did very little else, felt like an absolute log, not being able to help out old mate with the squids and everything, so that sort of sucks, doesn't it? You feel bad about that sort of gear. Not fun. But either way, look, it's the antis have sort of kicked in now. It seems like it's sort of progressing, so fingers crossed she's all right. But I'll still just do a very quick show today, and basically, you know, just to set up some power rankings and just to really just sort of encapsulate what's actually happened the last couple of days. So without further ado, let's get into it with the daily. Oh, it's a whip around. Yes, the whip around. Dame Lillard missed his 4th game today because he's out indefinitely. Bit of a weird one and a bit of a tough one for the Bucks fans. Dame is out with blood clots thanks to some deep vein thrombosis in his calf. So you might remember Victor Wembanyama out for the rest of the season with some blood clots in his shoulder. So obviously blood clots, you don't screw with them. Very simple stuff. So he's on blood thinning medication, so there's no update as to when he'll actually be back or if he'll be back for the season. Fingers crossed, but these are the sorts of things you just do not screw with. So as we talked about, right, like ended Chris Bosh's career, my beloved Mirza Teledovic's career. You forgot about him, didn't you? I still contend that Mirza Teledovic was the last remaining NBA player who punched durries in between games. Maybe even between quarters. Sergei, what was it? Kazarov as well? Maybe. Anywho, that sucks for Dame. It sucks for the Bucks fans, and we'll talk about them later when we smash through this Denver-Milwaukee game. Kyrie also had his ACL surgery, so seemingly that has all gone well, which is nice. kind of what you want. You don't want it to go not well, do you? There was an interesting little one as well. Like the big sort of news that's popped off today is that LeBron went on McAfee and let loose on everything. So that was kind of the big news out of today in the NBA is LeBron going, I don't speak to Michael Jordan. Brian Windhorst is a weirdo and he's not my mate. About signing with Nike and a bunch of other things. He let loose, and I've got a thought about this later on. So it's pretty interesting, though. And there was a game-worn rookie Michael Jordan jersey that went for $4.21 million at auction, which is very cool. I like that. That's a lot of money, but it is MJ. Right. So instead of going through all of these games and giving you a big game preview, what are the games that actually mattered the last 2 days? Well, we had the incredible Jimmy Butler Bowl, where Jimmy Butts returned to Miami and the Warriors got their heads kicked in. It was chaos and pretty funny, really. Like, after all the hullabaloo, Jimmy Butler being like, hey, man, I don't even want like a bloody tribute video. Didn't even achieve anything, did we? And then they played it and it was awesome. And then his old team kicked the shit out of his new team. 112-86, it was chaos. Pistons smashed the Spurs. Magic got by the Hornets. Knicks outlasted the Mavs. Najee Marshall versus OG Anunoby was a fun one. The Rockets-Hawks was pretty fun yesterday. Dyson Daniels was really good, but Jalen Green got the better of him in the end. The Grizzlies killed the Jazz. They got straight killed. I'll tell you what. Jeez.
So he got straight killed.
Cleveland outlasted the Blazers 122-111, and the Thunder smoked the Kings down the stretch. And then today's games, we had the two Tankathon games to start off with. Wizards, Sixers, who cares? Wiz win that. Raptors smoked the Nets. That's just good tanking by the Nets. That's a double loss for the Nets because they're now 3 losses up on the Raptors. That's good stuff. Lakers Pacers was an absolute belter. We get the LeBron James tip-in game winner. Absolutely awesome. Off the Luka miss, but I don't know. Halliburton wasn't there on the last defensive possession. It was very strange. Rick Carlisle had a timeout. He didn't call it. Who knows what's going on there. Clippers beat the Knicks. Knicks on a back-to-back. Really good game from like all their dudes. Norm, Kawhi. James Harden, they're all really good. The Nuggets beat the Bucks 127-117. It took everything to get by the Bucks team. They didn't have Dame or Giannis. It was chaos. Either way, the Bucks are in a bit of a spot of bother. And then the Celtics kicked the shit out of the Suns 132-102. Hit a million threes. The Extreme Zinger Meal is absolutely on fire.
Extreme Zinger Meal.
You could almost say you're supercharged.
Supercharged Zinger Burger.
Nice one. So who was the NBA Straya approved performance of the night over the last 2 days?
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Well, today, Nikola Jokic had 39, 10, and 10. Not bloody bad. Luka had 34, 7, and 7. That's not as good as 30, 10, 10, and 10, is it, Jim? No. Extreme Zinger Meal, as I mentioned, he was awesome.
Extreme Zinger Meal.
30 and 8. Najee Marshall was, as I mentioned, like he was absolutely fantastic in that game yesterday against the Knicks, but they lost. He had 38 points. OG had 35. SGA had 32 against the Kangs, but I really think LeBron with the game winner. Not only that, he managed to score all of his points in the fourth quarter to keep up his streak of double-digit scoring games, which, again, I'll talk about later. But more than anything, the Bucks just absolutely just going at the Nuggets without Dame, without Giannis. Brook Lopez as the 26. It was incredible. Kyle Kuzma, God, he was bad. It was hilarious. I'm watching this game going, dude, what is going on here? Good job by the Nugs, though. They needed that one. And I guess out of all of this, as we get to the power rankings, yeah, the Bucks, that's a problem. Losing Dame is a big problem. They are now 40 and 32. But that also means they're now the 6th seed because the Detroit basketball Pistons don't look now a 5th and only 1.5 games behind the Indiana Pacers. How good would it be to have a Malice in the Palace series? 4-5, Indy versus Detroit. Let's make it happen, basketball gods. Anyway, who was Spud of the night over the last 2 days?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Spud of the night. We had plenty of Spuds over the last couple of days. I'll tell you what. You had Harrison Barnes and Noah Clowney go 1 of 9, 1 of 8 for Keontae George, 2 of 10 for Keon Johnson, 2 of 12 for Anthony Penny-Simons. 3 of 13 for Moses Moody. And, of course, I would like to thank very much Daquan Jeffries for going to shoot. Ah, yes! Woo! Cheer! Ah, you can't even get too excited. Everything hurts. If I don't move, my foot doesn't hurt. If I get excited and move a bit, it does. It sucks. And a special mention, as I hit on, Kyle Kuzma. It's like, hey, look at me, Bucks. This is my team now without Dame and Giannis, and he was absolutely horrible. 10 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, shot 3 of 10. Yeah, there's a reason why the Wizards were so bad over the last, many years that they've had him. What are we doing here? Anyway, who's old mate, no mates? This one's so brutal.
Old mate, no mates.
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 Who's got no mates today? Brian Windhorst has got to be sitting there. What the fuck, man? Jesus, thanks, LeBron. All I've done is tickle your nuts for the last fucking 15 years. Windy cops this drive-by from LeBron on the McAfee show saying, man, I've seen Brian Windhorst on one of these shows not too long ago. This guy says he's like my fucking best friend. These guys are just weird. Have you ever had someone go on television and say, that guy thinks he's my fucking best friend, but he's a fucking weirdo? No! That is awesome and hilarious and a absolute fucking old mate, no mates. It's a tough one to bounce back from, that one, I'll tell you. On top of that, Desmond Bane shoved the shit out of Santi Aldama yesterday during the Memphis game, which is a bit old mate, no mates on two fronts. One being your teammate shoved the shit out of you and nearly made you fall over the fucking bench. 2, it was Desmond Bane, Santi Aldama. He's like half your fucking size, mate. What are you doing? It's yes, getting hit by Desmond Bane's like getting hit by a bowling ball because he's a center of gravity. He's like fucking 2 feet off the ground. But Jesus, have some self-respect, son. That's also a bit of a pantsing. But the real pantsing goes to... Eric Spoelstra and the Heat and what they did to the Warriors yesterday. And Jimmy Butler's return, that was an absolute... 112-86 is such a massive fuck you. Yes, they don't have Steph Curry in that game. We talked about this on Tuesday's show. He was always going to be questionable with his ass contusion. Draymond goes 1 of 4 for 2 points. Butler shoots 5 of 12 for 11 points. They fucked them up. They ran over the top of them. It was all over Red Rover. 20 for Hero, 27 and 8 for Bam. 20, yeah, that's it. So 17 for Alec Burks out of nowhere. He hits 5 threes. Andrew Wiggins against his old team. He has 10, 5 and 5. And really, a bit of the old mate, no mates. Pantsing also has to go to Andrew Wiggins gets all the high fives, all the love, all the hugs, all the cuddles from his old teammates. Jimmy Butler, with his old Heat teammates, fucks off. Just is gone. Absolutely zero love shown. How good's that Heat culture? You love to see it. All right. And finally, who was better than Bronny Jones?
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. He's coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. This one is going to go to Marcus Sasser of my beloved Detroit Pistons. He was awesome yesterday. Pistons absolutely smockerated the Spurs, 122-96. Sasser has been really, really good at times this year. He's actually popped up on Better Than Bronny James a couple of times. He had 27 points in 26 minutes, 4 rebounds and an assist shot, 5 of 7 from 3, 9 of 12 from downtown. He is a weapon. And it's a very unheralded aspect of Detroit getting good. But it's when you have performances like that from one of your backup guards. He had 20 in the last game against the Pelicans. Yes, this is coming against shit teams, but still. Just handy to know that you give him some minutes and he goes whack. So good job, Marcus Sasser. All right, let's do some very brief NRs right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wertho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're listening to
Straya.
NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do some yeah nahs. Had a couple of good ones sent in. What do we have? We had a couple of Matties. We had Matty G. Hey, Jim. Yeah, nah, Giddy Up is putting together a second half of the year that should have him challenging Dyson Moore for most improved. Yeah, nah. I responded to Matty G saying, yeah. Like, both Giddy and Dyson are the perfect idealized versions of most improved, right? You're a mid-range lottery pick. You're given a little bit more responsibility in your, second, third years, this sort of stuff. You actually take advantage of it, and you're doing great. It's not fucking Cade Cunningham, who's like the number one pick, meant to be a fucking superstar, playing like a superstar finally because he's healthy, right? That's not most improved. It's more fucking MVP if you ask me for Cade. But I love this from Matty G. Yeah, I want to see Dyson and Josh Giddey go 1-2 in the fucking most improved. Matty O then jumps on. Kobe and Giddey, hottest backcourt in the NBA right now? Yeah, nah. Basically, like, if you go through the rest of the backcourts in the standings, even like the likes of Cleveland, Boston, the Knicks have lost their point guard. The Pacers have been in and out. The Pistons, look, it's Cade and then everybody else. The Bucks, no. They are the hottest backcourt in the East. And if you go out the West, I mean, injuries here and there for OKC, Houston, Denver in and out. I think they might be very close to being the hottest backcourt in the NBA right now. Josh Giddey is carving it up night on night. Kobe White's won 2 back-to-back bloody East Player of the Weeks. And he's got great hair. They are definitely the winners of the best haired backcourt in the NBA. You've got the mop-top Mamba on one hand and then Kobe with the good hair on the other. That's fucking bang on right there. And then Matty O also threw in, pub cricket should be more pub and less cricket, Jim. Yeah, nah. I'm going to say nah, because I didn't fuck my foot, I think, actually playing cricket. It was kind of weird. I was carrying like a calf injury going into the games on Sunday. And it might have been a bit of overcompensation on that as I was keeping. Maybe one of the lateral movements sort of fucking sparked something up. Maybe I should, and because like the Achilles was a little bit achy before that as well. So I might have spurred it off, but it's weird that it blew up like 2 days later. I know I've got some physios, doctory types out there. Let us know what you reckon I've done. Oh, jeez. I think I have an unpopular opinion of the day. Did I? I don't know if I do, actually. Oh, no, we'll just do the power rankings. Let's do it. Power rankings. It's been a weird couple of days as well, right? We've had just some the tankathon teams are fucking all out to out-tank each other at the moment, right? And it is legitimately historically shit basketball. Like the Clippers, and we've still got like 10 games left. It's absolute chaos. Absolute chaos. So if we look at the standings right now, you've got a Hornets team that's lost 3 on the trot. The Nets who have lost 5 on the trot. 6 on the trot for the Pacers. The Wiz have got another game 1, but they're basically tying the Yaz at 16 wins, right? So the tankathon teams in the power rankings, the most inept and the worst right now, I think, is still probably Washington. Maybe Utah sort of cycle these games in, but we'll start with Utah, then we'll go to Washington because Washington beat Philly today, right? Which brings them up to tied with Utah. So we'll go Utah, Washington, Charlotte are abysmal. Philly are they're playing dudes. You're like, what is going on here? Then we probably get to the Nets because they've finally gone, wait a minute, we've got to be really bad. And now they've actually sort of snuck into the 5th worst record in the NBA, tied with the Sixers. Pelicans are every so often handy, but also, I mean, they won their last game, but otherwise. And then we go to the Raptors, who keep winning these random games, and the Spurs, who are also sort of like, I think we're tanking. Yes, we're tanking. We don't have any good dudes, but we do win some games. So that's your tankathon teams. Basically, Utah, Washington, Charlotte, all-time inept. The Pelicans so injured all season. Brooklyn and Philly. Just those bottom six are absolutely abysmal. And then you throw in the Raptors, who are barely trying. The Spurs as well. They used to have Luka and now don't, and have 0 players, but they've got Anthony Davis at least playing for them tier of the power rankings. At 22, the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, they're in an absolute dogfight for the 10 seed. They're tied currently with the Suns, 35 and 38, but they're in 11 thanks to the tiebreakers. So, yeah, Dallas are in a bit of trouble, just saying. Revenge tour. Awesome if they only played teams who their former superstar now plays for. That would be Miami. Because they were absolute dog shit until they played Charlotte, and then they played, which is Terry Rozier's old team, and Jimmy Butler's Golden State Warriors. But otherwise, the Heat are still a game back of the Bulls in the 10 seed. The Chaos Fun tier. I love my favorite tier probably out of all of this is Chicago, Portland, Orlando, Chaos Fun tier. These 3 teams, if you play them, it's going to be chaos fun. Sometimes they're going to come out and kick your ass. They're going to look absolutely crazy. Chicago could be even higher up. They've got like one of the biggest win streaks in the NBA right now. I think it's the 3rd longest. They've won 3 straight. I think that's right. So that's awesome. Let's go Bulls. They're in the 9 spot. Portland just keep fighting and fighting and fighting as they keep losing and losing and losing. But they're at least really fun. And Orlando, bit of a spark the last little bit. They've won 3 on the trot as well. Enjoying them. They have Bala Bancaro every so often just going, hang on a second, I'm fucking awesome. Check this out. Then we've got the playoff morass here, which is Atlanta, who is 7th in the East right now. Sacramento, who are 9th in the West on the same actual record, 35 and 37. Then we go to the Suns, who are 35 and 38, but until today's beatdown at the hands of the Boston Celtics had been playing way better. Then we go to the Bucks at 14 because losing Dame, Giannis dealing with an ankle, they're in the 6th seed. They're not going to drop out of the top 6. But at the same time, you probably don't want to be in the 6th seed. I think you'd rather see Indy or Detroit in the 4-5 than the Knicks in the 3-6. Right? If you don't have Dame, I'm just, ugh. 13, the Detroit basketballing Pistons. God, I love them. 12, the Memphis Grizzlies. They have these random wins. They're keeping on. They're currently in 5th in the West at 44 and 28, equal with the Lakers, which is pretty chaotic. Then we've got 11. That's the Indiana Pacers. They're in 4 right now in the East. Looking good, feeling good. Even though they lost that Lakers game today, we did have them picked at +1.5. They lost by 1. That's a win for us. But every time Halliburton plays, there's just something going on there. They're just good. And so that's why I've got them 11. 10, the Knicks, because they'll have these games where they look absolutely astoundingly awesome, and then they'll have games like today where you're like, you never had a chance. Number 9, the Wolves. It's a bit of a weird one, but I feel like they had been playing really well. They dropped a really shitty game to the Pacers the other day, which I was like, all right, that's the game the Wolves should win. They didn't. But they had been playing pretty bloody well up until then. So we'll give them a 9. 8, we've got the Clippers. They are currently in the 6th seed, having bumped the Warriors down after the Warriors lost to the Heat. So the Warriors are actually in the 7. Clippers in the 6. 7, I've got the Houston Rockets. They're 2nd in the West, though. But, Jim, that doesn't sort of seem to match up yet. They have these weird games. They were on that awesome win streak against shit teams. And then they still have these weird lapses. Just saying. But that's the playoff positioning tier. That if stuff goes right, you could see pretty much any of the last 5 making a conference finals. The Rockets, the Clippers, the Wolves, the Knicks, maybe the Pacers. And even the Grizzlies if they have Ja. But who fucking knows what's going on with him? The could win it all tier. This is number 6, the Denver Nuggets, 46 and 28, 3rd in the West. The Los Angeles Lakers of Los Angeles, California, who are now currently 44 and 28 and 4th in the West, but have Luka Doncic. And number 4, they could have even been a little bit higher, but that was the Golden State Warriors. They've now dropped to 41 and 31, having lost 2 on the trot. We could probably, I actually wrote this before the Warriors lost today, so we'll switch those around. We'll go 4 Lakers, 5 Warriors. And then, Brew, we get up to the top 3, At number 3, having lost a bunch of games in a row in the last week, Cleveland. That's right, Cleveland. 58-14. Feeling pretty good about themselves, but Boston have been crushing it. They've won 7 on the trot. They're in the 2 spot. And then your Oklahoma City Thunder are on top of these power rankings at 1 because they're fucking killing teams and they're 60-12. They've won 60 games already. 60! It's insane. Bloody good job. And there you go. I do now think, though, that there is probably more than, like, Cleveland have given us enough of a wobble where you're like, hang on a second, I can see someone beating them. Boston have looked good despite all their injuries, despite Tatum rolling his ankle, missing a game. Hey, they're fine. They kicked the shit out of Phoenix today. And the Thunder, look, I still feel like they've got like some moments where you go, oh, what's going on there? I don't think anything is rolled gold right now. Just saying. And how about a quick Outback take? Yes. It's Thursday at Outback, and you know what that means? Oh yeah, 2 for 1 blooming onions. That's right, no one knows what the fuck these things are in Australia, but we'll sell them to you for 2 for 1. It's some sort of deep fried onion made to look like a flower. What the fuck is that about? No one knows, and it's only at Outback. And today's Flame Grilled take is LeBron's out here saying how the league rigged the lottery in 2003 for Cleveland. He's also like, hey, Patrick Ewing to the Knicks, Derrick Rose to the Bulls. LeBron was told by David Stern that that's exactly what happened because literally no one had fucking brought this up ever before. So guess what? It was rigged. Only at Outback. But the actual Outback Takehouse is, doesn't this entire, like, sit down with McAfee, let loose, have a crack at everybody from MJ to rigging the fucking lottery, shitting on Windy. I feel like LeBron is greasing the skids for a Kobe-esque, this is my last year, next year tour. What do you reckon? I feel like this is him just unloading the clip a little bit, setting us all up, and then next year it'll be like the shower me in praise and glory in my final year because I'm fucking 42 or whatever it will be. 41. What do you think? I feel like this might be his second last year. This fuckery has to end at some point, doesn't it? All right, quick break. Back with Australian Player Watch right after Delhi.
This is Matthew Delvedova, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, pretty quick Australian Player Watch today because, in the 2 days, having missed yesterday's show, which again just felt weird. I'm not going to lie. It was just very odd. We didn't have any Bulls games yesterday, so I guess there's no Josh Giddey update. We got a big Dyson Daniels game yesterday, though. Where was that one? Oh, God. Closed it somehow. He was really good though. Trust me. There it is. Atlanta, Houston. I've got it right there. Dyson went 7-14 against the Rockets. He shot pretty bloody well. 7-14, 3-6 from 3. He had 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists with 4 more steals. Crushing it. That was up against Jock Landale, who copped the did not play coach's decision. But you get that one, don't you? Clippers Knicks today. We got Ben Simmons, who shot 1 of 4 from the floor for his 2 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. It was a plus 19 in 16 minutes. And Patty Mills got out there for 1 minute of cardio. Didn't trouble the scorers apart from his 1 minute. Not bad, good size. We had Josh Green against Orlando yesterday as well. 13 points, 1 steal, 4 of 5 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3 and 2 of 3 at the line. Not bad. But yeah, only 13 points, 1 steal. No extraneous ones. Why would you? And then Do-Up, Bob Do-Up was pretty good yesterday, but he was outshone by his Aussie teammate, wasn't he, against the Cavs. 15 points for Aussie Matty T, who went 5 of 6 from 3. Absolutely awesome. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Do-Up had 2 points, 1 rebound in 11 minutes. And I'm pretty sure that's it. We've actually had Taron Armstrong and Jack McVeigh carve it up in the G League. So yeah, keep an eye on the G League for the Aussies as well. We might do a bit of a G League wrap. Maybe tomorrow if we get enough time, and depending on how I'm feeling. Quick Andrew Gaze Great. Oh, no. Yeah, we can do an Andrew Gaze Great MAMBA Award, even though it's usually Kiwi Corner on a Thursday, but it's a bit of a chaotic one.
Andrew Gay's Grey Mamba.
Outstanding achievement here.
Excellent. LeBron James has scored in double digits for 18 years straight. It is absolutely an absurd stat, right? 18 years of double-digit scoring. And he did it at the very last minute today. He left it all to the fourth quarter and got the game winner tip in. So he went into the second half with 2 points on 0 of 5 shooting. And he has gone over 1,543 in now 44 games straight, scoring at least 10 points. That's fucked. He's also got 8 game-winning shots in his career, which is a fair whack. And I guess it's also what happens when you play for a million years. Well, bird. And how about should we quickly check Kiwi Corner as well? I feel like we should see what Steven Adams is, because he's been floating around a lot with the old his offensive rebounding percentage being the greatest of all time. He had 7 points and 7 rebounds to go with an assist against the Hawks in that Dyson Daniels showdown game. Not bad. And then shot 6 of 10 against the Nuggets back on Monday. He had 14 and 12 in 22 minutes. Absolutely crushed it against DeAndre Jordan. So he bloody well should have it, if you ask me. 2 assists, 3 blocks as well. 14-12 with 3 blocks. That's his best outing of the year. Equal scoring high, and boom, off he goes. Not bad from the big Kiwi. He had 4 and 8 as well back on Saturday. So absolutely crushing it for Kiwi Corner. Right, how about a quick Patty Mills Game Day Baller Game Day Twitter check-in before we do some game previews. Let's have a look. Ba-da-da-da-ba-da-ba-da, Patty Mills, Patty Mills, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, Patty Mills, Patty Mills. I've spent so much time on my phone the last 2 days that, like, yeah, all the stories and shit have, like, disappeared. Because I'm literally just on the fucking couch going, everything. Oh, my God, my foot hurts. All right, here's Patty. New York City Run Club and free coffee. All Aussies in New York City, if you'd like to come down to Old Mate's Pub tomorrow morning, for a bit of a sunrise run in the city. It'll be a 5K from pub to pier. How good's that? Nice breezy run club. Live Royal places. I'm bringing the bludge, right? It's going to be good. Meet him there. How good is that? So they've got Old Mate's Pub, starting at the pub, ending at the coffee shop. NY City's Run Club of the Year. Fuck yeah. You know, if I still lived in New York, I'd be there in a heartbeat. But with my fucked foot, I wouldn't make it out the door of the pub. What's Jim doing? Oh, he's having a sunrise fucking sesh. Let's go. Oh, you're on the tins there early there, Jim. Fucking blow it out your ass, Patty. I'll go for a run already. I'll be back here. All right, let's do some game previews. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Yeah, I've been better. Painkillers, pretty crazy. Achilles, rest. Yeah, she's all right. I'll live. Tomorrow we'll get Dallas at Orlando. Interesting one. Dallas have been feisty. You know? They haven't been good. They got smoked by the Knicks to the tune of 15. They beat the Nets by 19, though, and they beat the Pistons. It feels like, I don't know, it's a bit of a road trip. And if you look at the lineups they had in that Knicks game, right? You had Najee going absolutely hammer and tongs. They're starting Kai Jones, Kessler Edwards to go with Spencer and Clay. Brandon Williams gave him 22 off the bench. He had 15 for Jaden Hardy. Max Christie. I feel like they can hang with this Orlando team who just took everything in their fucking wheelhouse to get by like Charlotte yesterday. So might go the Mavs plus 6.5 in Orlando. San Antonio at Cleveland. Look, the Spurs are, again, they're kind of feisty too, but again, that's another team that doesn't mind copping a pretty hefty loss. They got smoked by the Pistons yesterday. So Cavs, I think, are better than the Pistons. Cavs at home as well. Substantial 14.5 point line. I think they cover that one pretty handily. Indy go to Washington. Interesting one after a heartbreaker to the Lakers. The Wiz are just horrible though, so I'm still going to take the Pacers minus 11. Always tread carefully with those sorts of ones. But the Wizards are just so like they also played today and they also won. I don't think they want to be winning too many more games, so I feel like Indy might put them in the gun and off they go. Then we have Atlanta, Miami, a good Southeast division battle. Had to think about that one. The Heat are -2 at home, which I kind of like. I think they got a little bit of a bump from the Jimmy Butler brouhaha. Atlanta, look, it's a really important game for the Hawks because they're only a half game up on the Magic, who we've just sort of tipped, you know, they're -6.5 against Dallas. I think the Magic probably win that, but it's a close game. The Hawks have to keep winning to stay the 7 seed. The Heat need to keep winning to get back up into the 9. I think the Heat might be a little bit too good. I don't know. That's a tricky one, though. I just don't trust the Hawks away from home against a team like the Heat. Yeah, so we'll go Miami -2. Lakers, Chicago. Hey, it's a repeat of last week. The Bulls are 3.5-point underdogs at home. Yo, they just put up 146 on the Lakers last week and won by what? 20, was it 21? 31? 31. I'm going giddy up. Giddy up. He eats the Lakers alive. Giddy just loves carving up Luka. I'm going to go the Bulls +3.5. Fuck yeah. OKC host Memphis. That's a weird one. Memphis play janky. The Thunder are 10.5-point favorites, though. The Grizzlies just... something just off about them again this year, isn't it? They smoked the Jazz by like 37 yesterday. Day before? Yesterday. Yeah. Desmond Bain shoving Santi Aldama, which is pretty funny. Can they stay within 10 of OKC? I don't know if they can. I think OKC are up and about. The way that OKC demolished Sacramento late the other day was very nice. All right, let's go OKC. Houston go to Utah. Utah are giving up the ghost. That's the Rockets -12.5. I think they can do that one pretty handily. Portland, Sacramento. Interesting one. Out west. We're out west. We're going to go Portland +6. They play teams hard. Sacramento, you never know what you're going to get. So I'm just going to take the points in that one, I think. And today we went 3 of 6 on the picks if you checked them out on Dabble. Because remember, all of these picks are brought to you by Dabble. Jump on the link in the show description or across the socials as well. Help keep this pirate ship afloat if that's your thing. Check out all the daily picks there. We had a couple of multis that were absolutely chaos and nearly did okay. I'm just saying. But all the daily picks that I'm on about every morning and on the show as well, you can check them all out there. Use the code NBA Straya when you sign up to tell them I sent you. Click on the link in the show description or on the socials and get right around it if you're about that life and you're about picks and vibes. It'd be really appreciated if that's your thing. Otherwise, you know, just send some love. It's all good. I bloody need it at this point. Actually, old mate's the one who needs it. I'm fucking just sitting on the couch in a lot of pain. She's fucking doing all the work. Bloody hell. Anyway, that is it for today. What do we do? We were 3 of 6 on today's picks, but I think we went 7 of 8 yesterday. So, just saying, keep an eye on them. Either way, I think we managed to get through this one okay. Like, I haven't fallen off my chair. If you're watching on the YouTube, I'm sort of just sitting here grimacing every so often, but it's kind of like if you're not walking around on it, it feels like just nothing. So, yeah, hopefully it's all right. Fingers crossed. A few more anti-inflammatories and she should be all right. In the meantime, though, we'll be back on deck tomorrow. So that's the plan. I enjoyed doing my morning vibes because I didn't drop off the squids today. Old mate did. I think I'll have to drop them off tomorrow. But I'm not going to be able to go walk and get a fucking coffee or walk them there. So I just did it sitting down in the backyard having my coffee with my big Jurassic Park mug, which was awesome. So I'll do that again tomorrow, I reckon. Either way, follow NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, and YouTube. Get in the comments, jump around, hit us up in the DMs, all that good gear. Get around NFL Straya, smash us a rating and review on your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, YouTube, whatever app you're using on your Android phone. However you listen to the show, watch the show, whatever, make sure you're giving us a big thumbs up. 5 stars, rating, reviewing, commenting, all that sort of shit. Just do it, would you? It helps out heaps. I'm just a one-man fucking show. Hang it out. Do my thing. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. Check out House Hats, Joshua De La Renta's Fascinated Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, iOS Extra Day, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear on the show, so smash them on Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. NBA Straya Sports Australian Bands. And thanks to all the folks who have actually reached out and gone, Jim, you all right? I'm fine. It's just a lot of pain. And Yeah, usually yesterday I would have probably just done the fucking show anyway, but old mate's like, just fucking, you're not allowed to do the show. And I'm like, okay. Just on the fucking couch, just a fucking sad sack. Anyway, managed to pull it off today. She'll be right. All right, hopefully we'll catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would ya? Here's to anti-inflammatories and let us out!